Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Janvi, and you would have heard me on radio talking about love, talking about things of heart, playing songs like Dil to Bachcha Hai Ji, Dil to Pagal Hai, Dhak Dhak Karne Laga, Dil Hai Ki Manta Nahi, etc. But that Dil is more than a poet's muse or a tool to romance, isn't news to anyone. However, that cardiovascular disease is responsible for 35% of deaths in women each year, more than all the cancers combined together, is shocking. CVD can affect women of any age. Yet, CVD in women continues to be seriously understudied, under-recognized, underdiagnosed, and undertreated. Today, therefore, this session is revolutionary in many ways. So congratulations to all the participants who are sitting here in whichever capacity. And with us today, we have our flag bearers who will be more than shedding light on CVD for us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome Vadodara's most beloved cardiologists with awards like Best Cardiologist Award in Western India by IPSA, Cardiologist of the Year in 2017, and the Times Next Gen Award 2024, Dr. Kamaldeep Chawla. Please. Welcome, sir. It's lovely to have you with us, and we are looking forward to some very enlightening words from you. Also with us is a senior consultant physician in Vadodara who specializes in the management of diabetes and infectious diseases. She is ECFMG certified and has done DFID from CMC Vellore in 2019. With numerous lives touched, can I have a warm welcome for Dr. Madhu Bhaskar Iyer. Ma'am is known for her compassionate nature and for digging deep into every case that she takes up. And she believes in continually updating herself and her skill set, which stands out and shines bright. We also have the honor of having with us Senior Consultant, Medicine, Diabetology, Non-Interventional Cardiology. He has penned many revered papers and has authored Management of Diabetes Mellitus, a book which has become a Bible for many. He is an orator on several national platforms. Can I have a thunderous round of applause for Dr. Akash Singh? Always ready to help patients beyond the call of his duty and ensuring that there's always enough knowledge spread so that diseases can be prevented. We are also joined by some beautiful power women of our city who lead by example, whose lifestyles we all aspire to follow and inspire to get. But before calling all of them on stage, I would like to first invite President of Baroda OB and Gynae Society, Dr. Archana Dwivedi, to please come on stage. And she will be felicitating all the lovely dignitaries who I'll be inviting. Our very special first guest is a visual artist, writer, and educator, having more than 3 decades of experience in the field. She is the recipient of Government of India's Human Resource Development Ministry's Fellowship on Sustaining the Stepwells of India, a subject that is very dear to her. She has also authored a book on the same topic. Let's welcome Dr. Kakoli Sen. Welcome, ma'am. Thank you so much for sparing your time. And I would like to request Dr. Archana to please felicitate you with a small memento. Our next guest is very familiar with having one's heart in their mouth wali situation. Did all of you watch the Cricket World Cup? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Did you watch the Cricket World Cup? Did you all have your heart in your mouth in the last over? Well, our next guest is a champion when it comes to, keeping her nerves calm while also excelling physically. Her name is Tarannum Pathan. She has represented Baroda cricket team for the past 16 years and she was the youngest captain to lead BCA senior women's team. Can we please have Tarannum ji on stage? She has represented India A and Gujarat Titans in Women's Premier League and currently she's playing for Goa Cricket Association. Huge round of applause for Tarannum ji, who always maintains her nerves calm while doing some of the most fantastically physically challenging things. Our next guest is a dedicated educationist, a highly passionate doctor, and an entrepreneur whose selfless and social centric nature has allowed her to make groundbreaking contributions to the scope of education, healthcare, and to overall welfare of the society. Her commitment towards nurturing the young minds of India has been evident by her role and contributions as the Vice President at Parul University and the Medical Director at Parul Sevashram Hospital. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Gitika Madan Patel. Not only is she an exceptional educationist, but with her own lifestyle, workouts, and a keen eye to her own diet, she influences and inspires many young women around her. Huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I have bet that you've seen our next guest in many, many movies. An architect by profession, Sonali Lele Desai is someone who loves challenges. She believes in reinventing herself over and over again and refuses to get bogged down by the society's mandate of what a woman should be doing. She explored her love for acting after a successful architecture career and has done over 50 Gujarati movies so far. Her latest ones being Hu Ane Tu, Hu Iqbal, etc. Welcome the lady with the heart of steel, Sonali Lele Desai, ladies and gentlemen. It's like Sonali loves to do new things. You blink and she's doing something new. And there's hardly any movie without her being made. She's the good luck charm of all the Gujarati movies these days. Next up, we have with us Professor and Head of Department Medicine, Dr. Rupal Doshi. I would love to invite you on stage. She did her MBBS in 1988, MD from the Medical College of Baroda. She was the Dean of Students at university level for a year. She was the Chairman Board of Studies for Medicine and Allied branches, and she has touched many a life with her expertise. That is Dr. Rupal Doshi, ladies and gentlemen. Spreading her knowledge, sharing it with all of us. Our next guest again is someone who is full of surprises. She is Mrs. India 2020, ex-Gujarat State Handball Captain, and a certified face yoga trainer. She started her modeling career at the age of 38 years, and today she is shot for leading brands like MG Motors, Garnier, Fab India, you name it, and she has them. She's an inspiration when it comes to fitness. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Pooja Desai. I remember she sharing the story of how she lost, I think, almost 20 kgs after the babies. 40 kgs, okay, that is 2 babies. So she lost 40 kgs after her deliveries, and here she is.
From the last time I saw her.
After every delivery, oh my God, okay, that's something that we have to hear from your own mouth. Dr. Archana is welcoming Pooja, and it's going to be a very interesting conversation, I reckon. Thank you so much, Dr. Archana. Lovely to have you. Now, what is it that we are going to be talking about and addressing? Before anything, I would like to invite on stage Dr. Madhu for a short address on what it is that we are going to be talking about. Please, Dr. Madhu, can we have a huge round of applause for her?
Thank you, Ms. Janvi. Good afternoon, friends and my dear colleagues. It is time to recognize and address the silent threat of heart disease among women and work towards preventing it. If you look at the epidemiology of cardiac disease in women, heart disease is the #1 killer in women, much more than breast cancer. The prevalence of heart disease in US is 44 million compared to 3.4 million cases of breast cancer. Cardiovascular disease among women is understudied, underrecognized, underdiagnosed, undertreated, and women are underrepresented in clinical trials. If you look at the proportion of DALYs for CVD, in the year 1990, it was 2.9%. It has increased to 6.6% in the year 2016. If you look at the percentage of total deaths in India, in the year 1990, infectious disease ranked first. In 2019, it is cardiovascular disease among women and men. There is a change of 41.84% from the year 1990 to 2019 in the percentage of deaths per 100,000 among women. If you look at the burden of cardiometabolic disorders in women, the prevalence in both men and women has increased worldwide. This has been linked to a rise in obesity and obesity associated clustering of other cardiometabolic risk factors. CV disease is often missed out in females due to the inability of the women to express their ailment openly, a cultural taboo compounded by factors like low socioeconomic status, a lower educational attainment, and constrained access to medical care. Gender disparity exists in the symptom pattern. Female exist less typical symptom pattern than men, as well as in their access to healthcare delivery and treatment. If you look at the gender disparity among men and women are less likely to achieve their lipid goal. Menopause leads to dyslipidemia. Women with hypertension, only 20% have adequate BP control. Diabetes confers a 45% higher risk of IHD in women. Smoking confers a 25% higher risk of IHD in women than men. Obesity confers a higher risk of IHD in women compared to men, 64% versus 46%. Women have a much higher prevalence of inactivity. SLE and RA are much more common in women. It increases the risk of IHD by 8-fold. Inflammatory bowel disease, women who have are much more likely to have IHD than men. Pregnancy-related complications increases the risk of IHD by many-fold. Early menopause again will confer a much higher risk of IHD. Depression is much more prevalent in women, and this increases the risk of IHD. If you look at the clinical outcome in female compared to male, they are older at presentation, so more incidence of diabetes and hypertension. There is a delay in seeking health care, increased mortality. A study done at a tertiary medical center in North India in myocardial infarct patient showed that women had an inpatient mortality of 12% compared to 5% in men. In people who undergo angiography, women had 6% mortality and 2% in men. Inpatient mortality without angiography, 26% in women versus 14% in men. The 30-day mortality in women was 17% compared to 7% in men. The 1-year mortality is again 22% in women and 9% in men. With this background information, I request the panel to discuss further.
Check.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for that insightful address. And it's also quite surprising for me, as someone from a non-medical background, to understand that the bodies can behave so differently, the diseases can behave so differently, and our heart, after all, is not just a heart when it comes to men and women. My first question is for Dr. Akash. Sir, will you please tell me, why is it so difficult to diagnose CVD in women as compared to men?
It is definitely difficult to diagnose CVD in women than in men because of multiple reasons. One thing is that even that doctors, the healthcare providers think that CVD is similar in men and women, but it is not so. The symptoms are different because a lot of ladies will present with breathlessness, with excessive fatigue, with atypical symptoms like excessive tiredness. Their site of pain also may be different, and that is why there is a confusion about whether these symptoms are particularly related to cardiac disease or not, and there is very less sensitization on the peculiarities of symptoms of the females to the healthcare providers, and therefore the healthcare providers are also not sensitized to the symptoms in women. Second thing is that there is a lack of awareness of these symptoms. Symptoms are more complex. Second thing is that ladies basically are generally, a vast majority of them are living in families. They have family responsibilities. They have a lot of psychological stress, emotional issues, and therefore a lot of these symptoms are attributed to these emotional issues or these psychosocial factors, and they are dismissed as being psychosomatic factors, that is related to psychology or emotions. So that all leads to delayed diagnosis in these patients, and many of these ladies will develop complications even before the diagnosis. Another problem is with diagnostic test. The ECG in ladies, get a lot of non-specific changes in the ECG, which basically are seen in these ladies, and therefore the diagnosis requires further testing, which is often not done. Another thing which is there is the if you go for further diagnosis like stress test, the treadmill test, what we call it, there also there's a high false positive or false negative rate in these tests, and these tests are not very specific. Then if you go for imaging, because of breast artifacts, a lot of these images may not be the standardized images, and you may lead to lack of diagnosis. Another problem with these ladies is that they think that they are protected by the effect of hormones, and they think that cardiac disease cannot occur before menopause, but it is not so. Younger females have much higher disease, a much severe disease, and a worse prognosis than males. Because the ladies are majorly living at home, they are often obese, they often have metabolic syndrome, often have diabetes, and all of these leads to disease. Another thing which is very important is that these diseases have non-obstructive coronary artery disease, which is called as BINOCA and INOCA, and these are the physicians and the healthcare providers are not very much sensitized to the disease, because the diagnostic modalities in these are different than the diagnostic modalities which basically exist in the males basically. Another thing which is there is the test, the NT-proBNP is a test for heart failure. The NT-proBNP levels are lower in women than in men, and that is why there is a fallacy of this test also. As far as the coronary angiography is concerned, if there is a small vessel disease, that is a microvascular disease, because you do not pick up the coronary arteries, imaging generally picks up the coronary arteries beyond 2 to 3 millimeters of diameter. So if the disease in distal vessels, which are less than 2 to 3 millimeters in diameter, then it will be interpreted as normal angiography, but the lady will be having disease. Also, the spasm of the vessels, that is a vasospastic angina, which may be transient or persistent leading to MI, is more common, and severe emotional stress can lead to something called as Takasubus cardiomyopathy, which is more common. So because of the peculiarities in and differences in the coronary artery disease in women compared to men, to which majorly we have not been sensitized, because this has come up off late. Basically, this was not a very great topic earlier. We are missing diagnosis in our ladies in a major way.
So I want to add 2 points as a cardiologist.
Yes, please.
What sir spoke was from a doctor's viewpoint.
Right.
But our ladies, I think they should not get flabbergasted by our words.
Because I definitely am. सारे symptoms हैं.
Yeah.
थकावट,
So, I mean,
breathlessness.
never ask a lady's age and never ask a gentleman's salary.
His wage, yes.
Because lady has never lived for herself.
Right.
She lives for others.
How beautiful.
And a gentleman never earns for himself. He always earns for the family.
वाह, सर आप तो पोएट बन गए, क्या बात है.
So one point that I want to make here is that in our society, with diversities from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and Porbandar to
Correct.
Guwahati, so there might be a female who has been doing daily chores, household work, કે હું વાસણ ઘસું છું, પહેલા હું આટલા વાસણ ઘસતી હતી ને સારું હતું ને હવે હું 2 વાસણ બી નથી ઘસી શકતી.
Right.
And we have,
Oops.
and then we may have a woman career oriented, and then she would say ke I used to change 3 buses and go to my
Right.
workplace, and now I'm not able to walk a mile or something, whatever I used to do. So these diversities have to be taken account in each individual women, and overall as a society we have neglected women, and that is why the panel has been, I'm so honored that all of you are here and we can create an awareness about women's disease. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kamal. And that is a very relevant thing that he has just mentioned. In India, even the tracking of the physical work for women, the physical activity is always related to housework. Like he mentioned, earlier I used to do so many vessels, now I can do only so much. Earlier I used to run so much behind my children, now I can do only so much. In a scenario like this, there also exists the 10,000 steps a day, the certain calorie deficit that we all have to maintain. So,
Can I make a brief point? over
Yes,
here?
please.
So now, Akash sir speaks less in terms of his achievements.
Right.
But he only brought to our notice there is good literature that 5,000 is the new 10,000.
yes.
So
I heard
we'll
that
keep
as
it in
well.
mind as we go further.
Perfect, perfect. So, Sonali, my question is to you because I know that you have been a big fan of the 10,000 steps and you have been trying to weave it in your daily routine, something that is a big, big problem for all the women. You know, taking out that 1 hour to work out every day is a stress for all the women. तो अपनी health बढ़ाने के लिए आपको और stress लेना पड़ता है. Then where do I find that 1 hour? Also, women are the primary caregivers for their families, their children. How have you managed it? I know you've raised a beautiful family, you've lived with in-laws, and somehow you've managed to find that time in the window. How do you do it?
Good afternoon, everyone. I think addressing first about the new, 5,000
Yes.
being the new 10K. I absolutely agree because initially, when we were always told that, if you can't do anything else, at least walk. So, and with someone like me, just walking is not enough. You have to set a goal. So 10,000 steps it was, and I made that possible very easily, gradually over a period of time. And then getting carried away, it went to 12 and 15. And then I realized that it was actually stressing my body out, and I'm not supposed to do that. And then I, approached it in a more balanced way, where I walk. Of course, I do walk, but I also do muscle strengthening exercises along with it. Because without having that strength, putting your body through that stress of walking is not good enough. And as you grow older, flexibility is a huge issue. So I think that also needs to be addressed. So now my workout is, a combination of these three. You muscle train, you walk, and you do your stretches for flexibility. Well, when you're doing all that and, taking out time becomes a huge, problem. But I think first it starts with your mind, that you have to tell yourself that, yes, you deserve that hour for yourself in a day.
That's a huge thing. I would like a huge round of applause for that. Most women don't think that they are worth it, which is why makeup companies have to use that line. They think अपने लिए 1 घंटा निकालना would make them look selfish in the normal household, which is not the case. Sonali, please.
Exactly. So when L'Oreal says you're worth it, that hour is really worth it for yourself. So I think that is very important. You need that hour. You deserve it. Okay. But of course, when we are, talking about women, we are always multitasking.
Yes.
So what I do is, when I'm doing my walk part of my exercise regime, I attend to all my phone calls, calls to my mother, calls to my sons. All that happens during that time. So, एक काम भी हो जाता है. You're attending to yourself as well as you're making it fun. And it's a routine, so they expect my call at that time. So
That's lovely.
that is very beautiful. Of course, while you're doing your muscle strengthening exercises, when you're doing your stretches, that time you need that full focus because,
yes.
one posture here and there, I'm sure everyone can confirm,
Right.
would, make it or break it. So, yes, so a combination of all of these and not too much walking, especially for me.
Wonderful, Sonali. More power to you, and I hope that you continue doing this and inspiring all of us.
Yes,
Dr. Kamal, one question to you. Not only are we physically overworked, in fact, more than physically, I think women are mentally and emotionally more overworked. वो जो गाना था, सारी दुनिया का बोझ हम उठाते हैं, वो औरतों के लिए बना था. Because we're always thinking, there are multiple tabs open in our heads, and we're constantly thinking, oh, birthday party, oh, this, oh, that, everything. And now that more and more women are working, the stress, unfortunately, has only doubled up. Because now you're supposed to show up everywhere and do everything. So is stress a very strong reason and an impact holder in these kind of diseases?
So basically, I think what we want to convey is that it's both physical stress and emotional stress. And I would keep mental stress separately from the discussion. So, yeah, I think women are matching shoulders with men. Yeah. And I'm proud that I'm born in this era. And I mean, it's still there, you know, pahadon pe, the men just smoke and women do all the
work,
physical
true.
work. Yeah. So yes, physical stress also has its ill effects on the body. Not we should. I mean, there's a saying that don't flog a tired horse. So beyond a certain limit, we should not strain, whether it's men or women.
True.
Women are emotionally more labile because that matratva feeling is God given to all the women, and I think we are blessed that we have all of you amongst us. But yes, there are certain medical entities which are more common in women to the tune of 9:1 incidence. So, for example, there's an entity which suggested it's very common in Japan, but we do see these patients in India also. It's called Takotsubo cardiomyopathy. So, Takotsubo is actually a octopus trap. So, wherein because of an emotional stress, like a lady attends her husband's funeral and then she goes into heart failure. So, because all these hormonal surges, adrenaline, and those things, they cause severe coronary vasospasm. Our heart arteries, they go into spasm, and then certain major part of the heart stops working. And there's no remedy to it, just treat it over 2 to 3 days, but this is a very, very known entity. Also, very common is postpartum depression and postpartum cardiomyopathy. Many women are not even aware, and you know, like wo fir sasural ka pressure and all those things. But these medical entities are not, people are not aware about them, and then they don't seek medical advice. And medical advice is just call away, and all of us can help these women. So emotional lability is definitely an important trigger. And by true incidence in medical literature, it's more common in women than in men.
Right, which is why I call this session so revolutionary, as you just said, that women themselves also don't know, their families also don't know what they're going through, and therefore they can't really help them, even if they do intend to. My question to then Kakoli ji is that, you know, you're a visual artist, you stay in the company of your colors, you have given time to your passion, again, something which is a very rare occurrence in the everyday household of our country. How do you think that helps you with stress management, A? And B, how important is it for women to continue to carry on their passion even after they've become mothers or after they've reached a certain age and all of that?
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to say that I am myself a diabetic patient. I have been diagnosed with diabetes just before 2 years. And being an artist, many of the medical terms, though I had seen it all around and many people told me also, I was never aware. And as I was, you know, our work is always, we sit and work, you know, we are
Right.
not always, I never put any, and after bringing up my children, I mean, I never realized that, you know, this much of attention is required for health. I stopped walking, and, you know, I really avoided, because morning is the best time to paint.
Right.
I really avoided all that. And I have a wonderful doctor who supported me, Dr. Mona Shah.
Right.
She was very
Huge round of applause for Dr. Mona here, please.
because, you know, she understood everything, because it's very important, and I don't know anything. I don't
Right.
even understand the terms, you know. It's like, till date, I'm very negligent. I'm very negligent, you know. If I can avoid, I avoid. It's
Right.
like that. Because, you know, I love to paint, but it is very important. I realize that, you know, when my blood sugar suddenly goes up, you know, then I realize that, you know, how important is walking, first of all. Then how important is maintaining regularly our health. If we neglect ourselves, especially as women, then, you know, our everything, health affects everything.
Right.
Painting, as you know, is something, you know, anyone who is passionate, please continue. I really advise everyone, and, you know, really suggest everyone that please continue with your passion, you know, because that is painting is one of the best painting, then clay molding. There are lots of things happening these days and lots of openings. So, you know, I'm lucky enough to have that kind of passion, and I'm able to follow my passion, but everyone is not. So, you know, anywhere you can find that kind of support, please take it and please go ahead.
Thank you. You know, they say it's the truth. When flamingos have babies, for the first 2-3 years, they lose their color. They're not pink anymore because the process of childbearing and raising a family is so difficult and hard that they lose their pink. But eventually, the pink comes back. I think all of us women are like that as well. But it's remember to call for your pink again, to remember to sing if that's what your passion is, to remember to write if that's what your passion is. Well, they also say that men are from Mars and women are from Venus. And as clearly Dr. Kamal has said, that there are differences in how our bodies operate as well. So my question then to Dr. Madhu is that, ma'am, do the symptoms also present themselves differently when it comes to men and women?
Yes, women do present with the typical squeezing chest pain, but more often it radiates to the jaw, the neck, in between the shoulder blades, and usually they have one or two associated symptoms like shortness of breath or a rapid heartbeat, cold clammy skin, excessive perspiration, fainting attacks, extreme fatigue or tiredness, restlessness, a generalized sense of not being well, abdominal pain, nausea, vomiting, heartburn, and what they say as commonly ghabraman. So these symptoms are likely to be taken as due to anxiety by the woman and also by the healthcare worker. So we should have a high index of suspicion and listen to the women.
My question to Tarannum ji, basis what just ma'am said, क्योंकि आप क्रिकेट खेलती हैं, आप इतनी एक्टिव हैं, मैदान पे आप बहुत समय बिताती हैं, आई एम श्योर खेलने में अलग अलग जगहों पर अलग अलग दर्द होते होंगे, मैच स्ट्रेसफुल होता है तो स्ट्रेस होता होगा. आप कैसे मैनेज करती हैं अपनी दिनचर्या को, और कब आपको लगता है कि ये वाला जो दर्द है ये थोड़ा अनयूजुअल है तो मुझे दिखाना चाहिए? जैसे हम लोग नॉर्मली, हमको तो कहीं पे भी दर्द हो जाता है पहुंच जाते हैं डॉक्टर के पास, पर दर्द इज अ पार्ट ऑफ योर लाइफस्टाइल. रोज ही आई थिंक कोई एक मसल कहीं तो दर्द हो ही रही होगी. तो आप कब वो रेड फ्लैग रेज करते हो कि नहीं अब तो मुझे डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए?
गुड आफ्टरनून. लाइक जैसे आपने बताया कि कुछ ना कुछ पेन होते रहता है हम लोग को. लाइक प्लेयर्स का, एक प्लेयर वैसा नहीं होगा जिसको पेन नहीं रहता, बट उसको पता है कि मुझे ये परफॉर्म करना ही है. लाइक जैसा मेरा नी पेन है तो मैं 5 ईयर से वही नी पेन के साथ खेल रही हूँ. बट जैसे मैम ने बताया कि फिजिकल स्ट्रेंथ और लाइक आप डाइट में क्या कर रहे हो, और ये सब चीज़ों पे बहुत केयर लेनी पड़ती है स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन को. और आजकल लाइक ट्रेंड ही चला है कि फिट रहना है. फिट के साथ लाइक हम लोग इंजरीज के लिए बहुत ध्यान रखते हैं, प्रीहैब स्पेशली, कि हाँ ये अगर नी पेन है तो उसके पहले हमें एक्सरसाइज कौन सा करना है, क्या है. प्लस हम लोग रूटीन चेक करते कि हमारा नेक्स्ट डे क्या है. इफ़ आज हैवी रहता है तो नेक्स्ट डे हम लोग लाइट करते कि लोड नहीं आना चाहिए मसल्स पर. तो ऐसे हम लोग ध्यान देते हैं हमारे मसल्स पर.
मगर यू नो विमेन बॉडीज अगेन डिफरेंट फेजेस ऑफ द मंथ. ये मंथ ऐसा लग, ये वीक ऐसा लग रहा है, नेक्स्ट वीक में बिल्कुल ही खराब लगता है, तीसरे वीक लगता है कि हम तो पूरी दुनिया जीतना चाहते हैं, चौथी वीक लगता है ये दुनिया, ये महफिल मेरे काम की नहीं. आपके साथ भी ऐसा होता है? और स्पोर्ट्स में वो कितना डिफिकल्ट होता है?
लाइक वो प्रोसेस के ऊपर रहता है कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो. लाइक बहुत लोग एक गिव अप कर देते हैं, बट लाइक मैं ऑलमोस्ट 17 ईयर से क्रिकेट खेल रही हूँ. और सबसे यंगेस्ट थी जब मैंने इंडिया कैंप अटेंड किया. उसके बाद ऑलमोस्ट 5-6 ईयर्स तक मेरा इंडिया कैंप लगा नहीं था. इफ़ मैं उस टाइम पर गिव अप कर देती, प्रोसेस पर ध्यान नहीं देती, तो शायद लास्ट सीजन में WPL खेली, विमेंस प्रीमियर लीग. लाइक IPL जो मेंस का है वैसे WPL. और वो प्रोसेस पर ही रहता है कि क्या कर रहे हो आप. अगर कल की सोचोगे ना तो आज का हम छोड़ देते कि आज हमें क्या करना है, क्योंकि लाइक विमेंस का है कि कल कल कल, बट आज का नहीं सोचते आज हमारे हाथ में क्या है.
तो आप रेगुलरली अपने टेस्ट वगैरह कराती रहती हैं जस्ट टू बी ऑन द सेफर साइड?
हाँ, हमें फिट रहना पड़ता है, डॉक्टर के लिए पास जाना पड़ता है, इवन मेन स्पोर्ट्स साइकोलॉजिस्ट के पास हमें जाना पड़ता है, बिकॉज हम लोग को स्ट्रेस लेवल ज़्यादा रहता है
जी.
स्पोर्ट्स पर्सन की. लाइक परफॉर्मेंस हमें पता है कि कैसे स्ट्रेस, बट फैमिली का प्रेशर रहता है कि आप साल भर प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, परफॉर्मेंस क्यों नहीं हो रहा है. तो लाइक वो क्वेश्चन के लिए हम लोग रेडी रहते हैं कि क्या होगा. तो वो स्पोर्ट्स साइकोलॉजिस्ट को भी हम लोग दिखाते रहते हैं कि क्या करना चाहिए नेक्स्ट.
So while we all cheer and applaud for our teams whenever they play, I don't think this is the side of their playing that we have ever paid attention to. So huge round of applause to Tarannum. Thank you so much.
Janvi, I just realized one thing.
Yes.
Amongst all of us on stage, I think Kakoli ma'am is the only one blessed who doesn't have targets.
Yeah, that is true. But
So,
she...
targets.
वो अपने आप को खुद ही एक टारगेट देके चलती हैं, you know. So she has authored many books and Stepwells is her case that she is really fighting for. Dr. Kamal, you know, we have grown up hearing women have very soft hearts. ये तो नाजुक दिल की होती हैं. Oh, women are, suffering sitas. Physiologically, is the heart of a woman different than that of a man?
No.
No?
No. So,
Huh? What about the arteries and the veins and the...
so
Yeah? We are stronger, she's saying, the lionesses.
मेन से ज़्यादा लड़कियां ज़्यादा स्ट्रांग रहती है, प्लस हर मंथ पीरियड्स आना, पीरियड्स में वो काम करना इजी नहीं है, पीरियड्स में खेलना, कोई भी स्पोर्ट्स पसंद, स्पेशली ऐसा नहीं कि क्रिकेट, पीरियड्स में खेलना सबसे बड़ा डिफिकल्ट रहता है कि लाइक क्योंकि ब्रेन वही रहता है कि पीरियड्स 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 क्या हम कर पाएंगे कि नहीं, बट सबसे ज्यादा स्ट्रांग लड़की रहती है.
क्या बात है, all the men in the house, can I have a huge round of applause?
So the question was जो पूछा गया था कि जो दिल धड़कता है वो सबका सेम होता है, वही
जी.
4 चेम्बर्स, बट the few differences are that the women's arteries are smaller
Okay.
than men, and एक नॉर्मल पाइप डायनामिक्स भी अगर सोचे तो जितना छोटा डायमीटर होगा उतना ब्लॉक का चांस ज्यादा होगा. Women have more myocardial infarction whenever it happens. The severity is more than in men. That's definite. Women do have a hormonal protection till menopause, but after menopause, the protection goes off, and then the risk actually goes up if there is some pre-existing risk. Suppose there is a family history, suppose there's obesity, suppose there's diabetes. So after menopause, the risk is actually more than that in men. Because of awareness issues and because of atypical symptoms, women present later to medical facilities.
Okay.
And that is the reason that complications are more in women. So overall, the whole session why we conduct this today is to create awareness about women and heart diseases so that they seek medical advice well on time.
Perfect. Yes, Sonali.
Just supporting something what Tarunam was just saying about, a girl being stronger. Is it, I mean, I've heard it, I want to, cross-check. When a baby girl is born and when a baby boy is born, if they're underweight or having some complication, there are more chances of a baby girl to survive that.
Ma'am, myself,
baby boy.
my younger one was born 900 grams.
Right.
Yeah.
So that is true medically?
That's true, ma'am. So premature babies, the female child survives better than a male. It's
And why
published.
is that
data.
so? I mean, just
Ma'am, I think women all over the species, not only human beings, can handle stress overall in a better manner.
Woohoo! Is it then
Just wanted
safe to
to
say that
hear
women
that.
are stronger than men, even, cardiovascularly?
no, you're just digging for that compliment.
Absolutely. We have many, many proofs right here on this stage. And Pooja, if you could just answer this one question. I know you personally, and I know the kind of magic that you make happen every day to be able to be everywhere, tending to everyone, including your children, your husband, your in-laws, your own family, and then being the boss lady that you are at work. I know that there have been moments when stress has taken over, and I know of multiple moments where you have kicked stress and said, boss, I win. How do you do it?
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me today here. Staying calm in situations, I think, doesn't come naturally. It is a skill set you develop over a period of time, not only of your body, but your mind also. It's very easy when people say कि yoga कर लो, शांति मिल जाएगी, calm हो जाओगे. But no, if you're sitting there and then your mind is wandering at different places, that's not calm.
True.
And who knows it better when a person like me who has gained 40 kgs in both my pregnancies,
Wow.
have gone through postpartum depression, who's had suicidal tendencies, and I speak about it very openly because I think this is one area where women kind of hide, where women don't want to talk about it, and it's yet a social stigma. I don't know why, because if we don't talk about it, how are we going to address it, and how are we going to normalize it? It's very important. And all the more, I don't know, many people know that about me. Last 1 year has been very taxing. I lost my father, I lost my father-in-law, I lost my father to cancer, and within 6 months, my mother was diagnosed with cancer. So my mother is yet ailing from cancer. My real brother is a kidney transplant patient, and he got his kidney from his mother-in-law, who's a very dear family member now. and she is diagnosed with 4th stage cancer a month ago. I lost my nanny also. So this 1 year has really, taught me how to hold on, taught me how to, life is going to keep throwing a lot of things at you, but something somewhere within you has to tell you that, okay, you have to hang in there. This time will also pass. And in this 1 year, I have learned a lot of things in the sense how to keep my mind calm. And for that, I do a lot of mudras. Mostly, if anyone was noticing while I was sitting here, also I was doing the Uttrabondi mudra, which calms you when you are, feeling anxious or something like that.
Could you show us?
Yes, once I
Please,
finish
yes.
doing this. I also, so because I'm a certified face yoga trainer, I understand a lot of tension is held here in this muscle of ours. And I do a lot of massaging in my entire body now because there are a lot of emotions that get, for women especially, that get held in the hip part.
Correct.
And that's why we put on a lot of, fat or whatever these stored emotions here. Also for me, my daily routine has to begin with exercise because that is my me time. And that really brings a lot of calmness. Of course, otherwise, my work, my kids, my family, वो तो एक normal बात है for her women, doing their passion, hobby and all that. But these 3 major things I've done for myself in the last 1 year to ensure that I keep going. I keep going without breaking down. Of course, I've broken down a number of times in the past. Of course, Janvi knows that. But it's also important once you fall, see, I always say this, it's always normal to be affected.
Absolutely.
But to remain affected is abnormal.
I agree, and I think it's important to break down. I don't think there is any merit and medal in saying, "Oh, I'm very brave." You please cry when you need to, because
have to let out
that's
your
a let
emotions
out,
of your
yes.
body. That negativity has to flow out, and you will keep getting it time and time. But I think important thing is to rise up and then keep moving.
Ma'am,
Absolutely.
I think your resilience needs cheer up from our side.
Thank you so much.
Huge salute to you, Pooja. And like Maya Angelou said, still I rise.
They say in glamour world that behind every smile is actually a story which we don't
Absolutely, absolutely.
I always believe that, behind smiling faces or happy faces doesn't mean that they don't have issues.
But ma'am,
everybody has issues.
You touched a point which I want to say, and I think Gitika ma'am might be aware of it. So there's a dictum in our lingos as medicos that अगर दिल खोला होता दोस्तों के साथ तो आज ना आना पड़ता औजारों के साथ.
क्या बात,
Exactly.
क्या बात.
Exactly.
So I think women also need to talk and let their emotions out of what they feel, postpartum depression, mental issues. I think if we discuss, we went out many things which should not be there within
We
us.
have to normalize because ये half the times when people don't understand what is happening to them.
True.
और उसी में ही बहुत सारी चीजें हो जाती है. So it's very important. Thank
Do you want to show them the mudras, a couple of
yes,
them at
yes.
least?
Yes.
I'll hold the mic for you, come.
So I just normally put both you join your index fingers and you join your thumb. And you sit like that. This is one mudra, this is called the Uttrabondi mudra. And this mudra actually helps you to calm down, release your anxiety, and reduces your heart rate if it is at a higher pace. You try it for 5 minutes a day and you see the difference in a week.
Let's all do that. Can we do that? It's something that is easy to practice anywhere. And I see some people are already doing it, so wonderful. Thank you so much, Pooja, and more power to you. And I hope that God is very, very kind to you this year and future on. My next question is to Dr. Rupal. Dr. Rupal, you meet a lot of patients from across stratas. I would love for you to answer some risk factors of CVD for women, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. Risk factors, which are what I would like to stress upon, is the changing risk factors in females. Like first, I'll talk about conventional risk factors, which are common for males as well as females, and few of them are non-modifiable.
Right.
Like age of the person. As the age advances, your chances of getting CVD increases. Similarly, your genetic predisposition, like if you are predisposed to the cardiovascular diseases and you have genetic predisposition, you are more likely to develop cardiovascular diseases. Then your ethnicity. Ethnicity, like Asians, they have more chances of dyslipidemia
Right.
and more chances of narrow coronaries. They make them predisposed to cardiovascular diseases. So these are all, and your gender,
Right.
right? So in gender, there are specific things which I would like to tell about the female gender as compared to male gender. In females, like like menstruating female, prior to menopause, they are protected by the hormone estrogen, and that hormone helps in keeping their HDL level, that is your good cholesterol,
Right.
at a higher level. And this hormone protects the females. But the things which are changing nowadays is there is a development of early menarche
menopause.
and early menopause.
Correct.
So what we used to tell classically that women develop CVDs 10 years later, that period
Window has
is
come.
getting narrowed. Another important thing for the females is they have to undergo pregnancy, and during pregnancy they can develop diabetes, that is what we call as gestational diabetes.
Right.
Then they can develop pregnancy induced hypertension or eclampsia, preeclampsia. They can also develop cardiomyopathy during pregnancy, and dyslipidemia is also very commonly found during pregnancy. So these all factors, if they are not monitored, see, most of them recover post-pregnancy if they are properly taken care of, but a few patients may continue to have all these risk factors and they may develop coronary vascular disease.
Right.
So these are important things. Over and above, now the females, many females, they take medications for infertility treatment. So these medications also make them predisposed to coronary thrombosis and other complications.
Right.
So all these things are very important. And as Dr. Kamaldeep already said, the women have narrow coronaries. So they're narrow and they have diffuse cardiovascular involvement, diffuse involvement in the coronaries. So they present differently than the men. And when they develop coronary artery disease, they are difficult to treat.
Right.
They may present, madam also said that they may present with few atypical symptoms.
Correct.
So many people they ignore. And in one study in USA also, 50% of the females are unaware that they are having, like nobody pays attention to their symptoms. They may not be able to diagnose, they may not get themselves tested, and so that is very important risk factor. Over and above stress, what previously we used to think that women are, like nowadays the stress for women, as we are discussing amongst everyone, that among women the stress is also rising.
Right.
Similarly, smoking is also on the rise in the women. So they all points over and above obesity, sedentary lifestyle, they all are risk factors which are common for both men and women. But these are few specific points to be highlighted in females which make them predisposed for cardiovascular disease.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You know, a recent survey said that across the globe, Indians are the most physically inactive people, especially Indian women. My question then to Dr. Geetika is, you know, being in such an influencer position in the real life, you know, you have so many young girls looking up to you while you're managing work and home and everything together, while getting the next generation ready of the doctors and everyone. What do you do to take care of yourself, and what would you advise to everyone?
Thank you, Janvi. A very good afternoon to all. First of all, thanks to Dr. Kamaldeep and Dr. Akash and the entire panel for keeping this session. However, looking at the audience and looking at, you know, the way we are talking about differences, I believe men and health can also be kept as a session certain times, you know, because most of the time I attend the sessions of women and health and I keep wondering that why we don't talk about the differences in men also. So you have left for me to sum up, I think, because we have talked a lot. However, before coming to the answer, I would like to just sum up in a way that why we always talk about women and health, the kind of gender differences between men and women, why we are so keen on talking about that. So summing up in a very basic manner is we all have one lifespan, right? We all live one life. However, I always believe that a woman lives 4 lifespans in a single life. So the kind of phases that a woman passes through, first is the adolescence phase, then the reproductive phase, then the menopausal phase, and then the postmenopausal phase, right? Now all these phases have different kind of demands, be it nutritional demands, be it social and cultural demands, be it emotional demands from the body of a woman. And that is what makes it very challenging for the women to traverse through the entire journey in a very healthy manner. So the first thing is that we need to understand, and this is the reason why women are more predisposed, more prone to many disorders, be it iron deficiency anemia, be it osteoporosis, be it a lot of cancers like breast cancer, cervical cancers, uterine disorders. And as we are talking about the narrower coronary arteries, the deaths in women because of cardiovascular diseases, if I'm not incorrect, is 40% higher in women as compared to men. Women are more prone to anxiety and depression after a certain age. So definitely there is a need to prioritize the health more. Now coming to the question, why the women do not prioritize their health, and do they do it today, as in if there is something which is changing? So definitely there is a positive change happening, and we are seeing more women around us who are now taking better care of their health. So I relate it to a theory which I call as a superhero theory. Now all of us know superheroes, right? Superheroes do a lot of things with great passion and great enthusiasm, and they are able to manage it all. So somehow women are in our society have been always looked up as superheroes. There is too much on the plate. There are certain things which the society puts, and there are certain things which the women put. If we talk about starting the career, a woman usually completes her education and starts the career. So she is trying to push herself to be successful in her career, and that's the same time usually when she starts a family.
Correct.
So she starts having children. She has that burden of taking care of the children. Then she moves a little into the middle stage. Now she's at the peak of her career and she's trying to establish herself, and the children have grown up a little. There is their education, and this is the same time somehow the husbands also start behaving like children. So they also need the women more, and there are so many things on the plate. So there is something which is going to get missed, right? And the women in the society are always incentivized and judged by their roles as mothers, by their roles in their career, as in she is doing great as a mother, she is doing great in her career, she is a great daughter-in-law, she is a great wife. However, nobody would come up to you saying that, oh, she eats so nice, she eats so healthy, she is such a good exerciser, right? So that incentive is not there. So because of that fact that we are not judged for this, the women start ignoring it, and the moment comes when we realize that we have been ignoring it to this stage, it becomes really, really very late. So it's high time that the women understand that not to relate in a manner that you should take care of yourself so that you can take care of your family better. As you were telling, so women are caregivers. How I would put it is that the women are leaders and influencers of their families.
Correct.
If a woman needs to take care of herself, it's not because so that she can take more care of her family and the society. It should be because she can lead a better, healthy and a normal life. And the added advantage is that she is an influencer for her family. She is a leader. If I am playing healthy, if I am playing a healthy thing in my life, my children are going to learn it.
No, please go for it.
just a joke. So that is how the women need to take it. They should not be waiting for somebody to come and tell that, yeah, you need to be healthy so that you can take care of your family better. It's really, really important that women take care of themselves so that they can lead their lives better. And this is what is definitely the need of the hour. And our thoughts is what makes our world. It's not the either way.
True.
So हमारे संकल्प से हमारी सृष्टि बनती है. It's what we think is what we are going to be able to do. So I think the high time for women to prioritize their health. Thank you.
Wonderfully said. I really believe that women are the CEOs of their house, the chief energy officers. Whatever energy we carry and the way we perceive life is how the entire family functions. And like Dr. Geetika said, it's very important to prioritize yourself. Nobody else is coming to save you. perhaps except Dr. Akash, who might just save us. Dr. Akash, tell me, medicinally, what are the problems when you find CVD in women? How, matlab, the obstructions that you find in curing it for women?
So basically, there are challenges to diagnosis and management of CVD in women, which we have been discussing. Now, the medical issues with women is that coronary arteries, as Dr. Chawla has said, is smaller. So if you do a test like coronary artery calcium and the score is less, still, if you compare the calcium to the coronary artery bed ratio, that calcium may be more significant compared to men. So there are chances to interpret it as a low calcium score, but it may be significant in women. Second thing is that conditions like INOCA, MINOCA, that is non-obstructive coronary artery disease, which are more common, require very specialized tests about which majority of us are not aware. A lot of them are also not aware in Baroda. And therefore, the testing for the spastic angina, vasospastic angina, or the decreased coronary flow reserve is not routinely done, and that leads to misdiagnosis in women. The third thing is that women basically tolerate lesser doses of medications. They have more adverse effects with medications. So they are suboptimally treated, and the full doses, recommended dose of medications may not be given to these medicines. Another problem with women is that the medicines have more side effects in women compared to men, and therefore, because of the side effect profile, a lot of useful medications may need to be withdrawn. Second thing is that because of the confounding psychosomatic factors, a lot of things, precise management is not done basically in the ladies, and therefore it is seen that even after definitive procedures like coronary angiography, bypass, the morbidity and mortality is more in women compared to men. Another thing is that the effects of diseases like smoking, diabetes, or obesity, metabolic syndrome is much more in women, and therefore their prognosis compared to men is worse basically. So all of these basically lead to a poor long-term prognosis. Even in the studies of bypass, it was seen that Lima, the arterial bypass were used less often in women compared to men. So all of these are things basically which complicate the health of women on the cardiovascular front, and they land up with a long-term outcome which is less favorable than men. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Doctor. And it has been a very, very thrilling session for all of us here, very insightful, wherein we all exchange notes. It was wonderful to have all of you here, all the dignitaries, all the power women, all the doctors. And what the biggest takeaway for me here was definitely physical activity, less mental stress, and being aware of the symptoms. If you're aware of the symptoms, if there is a diagnosis which happens early on, the possibility of everybody being happy and safe is much more. I'm now going to invite on stage Dr. Madhu Bhaskar to please come and tell us a few takeaway points for everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
A healthy lifestyle is the foundation for the prevention of CVD. We should calculate women-specific and traditional risk factors in all women at risk of CVD. We should look at the reproductive history and adverse pregnancy outcome, like gestational diabetes, preeclampsia, preterm labor. Look at premature menopause and hormone replacement therapy. We should use appropriate medications according to established guidelines for CV prevention in women. We should enroll more women in clinical trials. We should treat the non-obstructive coronary artery disease in women and look for microvascular dysfunction and address it. Pay attention to the atypical presentation of CVD in women and strive to increase awareness about CVD being the leading cause of mortality in women. Thank you.
Thank you very much, all the doctors and all the dignitaries present here and all the members of the audience. We have a little thing that we're going to do before we leave this beautiful gathering. I request all of you to please rise from your seats and do a little pledge with all of us, everyone on the stage as well. इतनी सारी बातें आज हमने अपनी हेल्थ की हैं, और अगर हम फिर ये छोटा सा प्रण ना लें कि हम एक्चुअली ये सारी चीजें फॉलो करने वाले हैं, तो इस मीटिंग का कोई मकसद नहीं रहेगा. So just put a hand on your heart, your right one, and say, repeat after me. Today, I pledge to honor my body and mind. अच्छे से बोलना है, नहीं करना है. Today, I pledge to honor my body and mind, to cherish my health, the precious gift I find. I will listen to my body. I will keep it healthy, watch out for signs, and take annual exams. I promise to choose healthy habits. Thank you very much, and may you all stand true to your promise. Thank you very much for a wonderful, wonderful session. I would like to request all the ladies to kindly go towards the back. There is the member of the press waiting for you. There's a special press conference that's awaiting you. And for the members here, there's a very special address by Dr. Jamani. He is internationally renowned, and he's someone that we all look up to. So a huge round of applause for Dr. Jamani, please.